happening this week. A bunch of teams on the road, but we'll have women's soccer in the Dome against Eastern Washington on Sunday. And then we will also have, obviously, homecoming for football this week. So really exciting opportunity for the Vandals to get back into it after the bye week. Northern Colorado also coming off the bye week. The Bears are 2-3 overall, 0-1 in Big Sky play. Vandals are 3 the Vandals are also 2-3 overall and 0-1 in Big Sky play. But great opportunity to get back home in front of our home fans. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to Coach Ford. He'll start with an opening statement, and then we'll move to questions. We do have a microphone for anybody with a question to ask, so that we can get it on record. So, all right, Coach Ford.
Thanks, Jack. Well, it's exciting to be back. I appreciate you guys being here. Obviously, our team is coming off a tough loss from the Montana game a couple of weeks back. It was a very hard-fought game, and very proud of our team for the way they played and fought. A lot of teams go into that environment, get down 2 scores early, and all of a sudden it's really kind of snowballs for them, and all of a sudden they're down by 30 or 40 points. And our team showed a lot of resolve, kept fighting till the very end, and just didn't have quite enough time to make a true comeback. But very proud of the way the guys played and finished. Very excited about the way the offense played. We had no procedural penalties in a very loud environment, which was a win in itself. Very excited to get back. We had a great bye week where I thought we were able to get a little bit healthy, especially at running back. I think Eli Cummings should be back this week. He looked really good yesterday in practice. And so we're excited to be back in the Dome. It'll be the first home game in almost a month. It seems like a long time since we've been back in the Kibbie Dome, but we're excited to be in front of our home fans, especially for homecoming, and with a good opponent, Northern Colorado, coming off of a bye week as well. Close loss to Idaho State the week previous. Really a 2-3 team that could easily be 3-2 or maybe even 4-1 if the ball bounces their way. They had a really close one against Colorado State that they probably should have won. It came down to a review call that was not in their favor. But again, a well-coached team. Coach Lamb, I think, does a great job at Northern Colorado getting those guys developed, and he's got them playing really hard. So we're excited to have another tough Big Sky opponent coming into the Kibbie Dome this Saturday, and I want to open up to you guys now for any questions you have.
What were some of the things that you guys really prioritized during this bye week?
2 things I thought. Number one, get healthy. We wanted to make sure that we got some of our guys that have been kind of battling through some injuries and still playing, try to get those guys where they're not battling through those injuries anymore. So getting healthy was number one. But the second thing was we wanted to get back to competing. We wanted to make sure that, yes, we're getting ready for Northern Colorado when we did a bunch of prep work for them, but we also did a lot of good on good where we really got to compete and get some guys that haven't had as many reps get more reps. And again, those reps for those guys are going to pay off in the long run because, again, you're always one play away from moving up that depth chart.
Matchup-wise, what are you guys prepping for?
Yeah, I think they're kind of a ball control type of offense, very similar to what we do. They want to kind of try to keep your offense off the field. And so we've got to do a great job, again, stopping the run. That's going to be first and foremost. And then we've got to limit explosive plays. They definitely want to take a bunch of vertical shots. I think they have a pretty good receiver in number 3. And so just, again, limiting the explosive plays and really bottling up that run game defensively is going to be key. And then on offense, just winning some one-on-one matchups. They play a lot of man coverage. And so we've got to win some one-on-ones with our receivers and get the ball downfield with our quarterbacks as well and continue to run the football. I think we've done a great job of that all season, and we've got to continue to do that this week as well.
How do you balance during the bye week, just trying to stay loose and stay in the flow while also, like you said, giving the guys time to rest?
Yeah, I think we did a good job with our scheduling. We gave them really kind of 3 hard days on and then a couple of days off from practice and meetings where they could, be college students for a couple of days, watch a bunch of football on their own, and kind of hang out with their teammates. So I think it was a fine balance between getting the work we needed to get done, but I think the schedule allowed us to really go hard while still giving those guys a little bit of rest and recovery time as well.
You mentioned explosive plays for Northern Colorado last 3 games. no touchdowns longer than 18 yards for you guys. Is that something you feel like you need to, focus on getting, explosive longer touchdowns, or is that just the way the game's played out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care how the touchdowns come. Obviously, we need to get more explosive plays in general. Now, if they turn into touchdowns, that's even better. But we're really focused on, again, on offense at least, sustaining drives and maintaining possession of the football. And if we can get a couple explosive plays, that would be even better as well.
Questions?
Is Tony Harste done for the year?
No, he'll be out this week though.
And it looks like on defense, they're pretty good at all three levels. Those guys are.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've had some issues stopping the run. That's something that I think we can try to play into our favor. I think we've been a very successful running football team all season, and I think that's an area where they have not been as good. I think they gave up 283 yards rushing to Idaho State, who's really more of a pass happy team. But they do have again, they play really hard, and I think they do a good job within their scheme.
In your bye week, you kind of noticing your season. It seems like looking at practice, Joshua will stay in the pocket, let plays develop. In games, it seems like he tends to flush more quickly. Are you trying to get him to play like he practices? He's
really flushing the pocket because guys are not open. He's not just running around on his own. So part of the reasons that he's, exiting the pocket and extending plays is because he's got to give those guys a little bit more time to get open. So I think our receivers need to do a little bit better job against man coverage, and that'll allow our quarterbacks to get that ball out a little bit more on time.
I know you mentioned in your opening statement you guys have been on the road a lot so far to open this season. Just what's it going to be like to be back in the Kibbie Dome in front of your home crowd for homecoming?
Anytime we can play in front of the Kibbie Dome crowd, it's a blessing. We're very excited to be back at home. Again, 2 back-to-back road games and then a bye week. It's almost been a month since we've been able to play in front of our home crowd. But I know, especially defensively, our defense really feeds off that home crowd, and so we're very excited to get back in front of them.
Do you think it makes it any easier, coming out of that bye week, to be able to then look forward to a game in front of your home crowd like that?
Yes, no doubt about it. Anytime you can have a home game after the bye week, I just think it makes it so much easier. The schedule is easier. It's more consistent. The travel is obviously non-existent. And so definitely love having home games after the bye week. It just, again, keeps, I think, our flow a little bit better with our group.
Just when going into a bye week, a lot of people want to, talk about how big the win is to go in with momentum. But when a team loses before the bye week, how much sharper maybe is the team during practice, and how much more they want to get back out there and wipe that away?
Yeah, I think they definitely were excited to get back to practicing. Anytime you take a loss, you want to try to get that taste out of your mouth as quickly as possible. And I think our guys really were chomping at the bit. I was, kind of anxious to see how they would react on our Tuesday practice, and they reacted in the best way. I mean, they had one of their better practices we've had all season, and sometimes that's hard to do when you're not playing a game Saturday. So I think the loss definitely helped refocus them and really kind of get them back to focus on what we need to get better at, what we need to improve on, and certainly did that this week.
Can you talk about homecoming week, just what it's like, maybe having some old players, old coaches, coming back to town, and just kind of what that's like?
Yeah, homecoming is always a special time. We get a bunch of former Vandals coming back. Our practices will have a lot more visitors this week than we have in the previous week. So anytime you get guys that have been through this program, they've done what our guys are doing, and they get to celebrate with them, I think is really a good thing. I think it also gives our guys a lot of perspective on how special this place is. And when they see so many guys coming back to our homecoming events, I definitely think it definitely helps put those guys in a better headspace in terms of the perspective. All the stuff that they're doing is really important, and you got a lot of people supporting them, and we're really looking forward to seeing those alums out this weekend.
More questions?
All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much.